It's the Blazor Puzzle. I'm Carl Franklin from AppVNext. That is Jeff Fritz from Microsoft. Hi, Jeff.
How's it going there, Carl?
I am well rested and not jet lagged.
Back in the safe confines of Pwop Studios, I see.
Yes, and this is the first podcast that I've recorded from the new studio. So I'm actually in the new space. I know it looks the same, but that's because it's a green screen.
Yeah.
And this is the ultimate studio in the background here. If I had to work in one, this is what it would look like.
Very cool. Well, congratulations. I know you've been working pretty hard to get that put together, and it sounds great from here.
It does sound great. And hey, before we get started, I wanted to apologize for losing some emails a couple of weeks ago. I did find them. And everybody can relax and rest assured that, yes, we did get them, and we actually did choose a winner. And that winner is, drum roll please, Arvid Zetterberg.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. So Arvid is going to get a Blazor Puzzle mug and a t-shirt, and everybody's happy.
So that was for Puzzle 4 that Arvid solved for us.
Yes.
Okay.
So let us review Puzzle 5.
All right. So this was the puzzle where we were talking about localization.
Right.
And we had a sample console application that kind of showed what we wanted to do with a little program CS where we forced a thread into Spanish, and we wanted to output the thread localization information. What's the native name?
And that worked just fine.
Absolutely, working on the console.
But then we went to a Blazor page, and we wanted to show the current culture and the current culture native name. And I don't remember what you did in here. Oh, yeah.
So we forced the culture here, yeah.
That's right.
And this is kind of a typical scenario that folks want to do when you want to do a little bit of localization on your application and let folks choose between different cultures for their application.
Which translates to different languages.
Yeah,
right.
And different formats for date and time, things like that.
So this is what happens when we run it. Now, we have an unhandled exception, but it's kind of an easy one because if you actually look at the exception, it tells you exactly what to do and what the problem is, doesn't it?
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that I like to see in my error messages where, hey, this doesn't work, add this element to your project file and it'll fix it.
Right. And what is that element? Right here in the initial property group, you want to say Blazor WebAssembly load all globalization data, set it to true.
Yep.
Now let's try it again.
And this is because Blazor strips out that localization information in order to optimize for delivery.
There it is.
All right. Now, the secondary thing that's going on here is when we request the native name to be described, on the console, it says Espanol.
Right.
But in the browser, it just has the abbreviation. And this is a known bug. And some of you out there did a real good job of looking up and finding that GitHub issue that's tracking exactly this. And the recommendation to fix that is to actually use a dictionary. So you look up and you bring along those native names in the native language appropriate for that culture inside your Blazor application.
Sure. And if you're really interested in a complete solution, you can go to blazortrain.com and search for localization. And I did a demo on that where you can actually select the language that you want and the resources, files, and all that stuff. So should we get to the winner?
I think we've got a winner this week, don't we? Yes.
We do indeed. And we got a lot of correct answers also. So kudos to all the puzzlers out there who are
hundreds
of
correct answers this week.
Yeah. So this winner is, drum roll please, Kurt Rollins.
Ah, there we go. Congratulations,
Belgium.
Kurt.
And Kurt wins one of these, a coveted BlazorPuzzle mug.
Awesome.
And one of these, a DevExpress t-shirt that says, I'd rather be coding.
Very cool.
And that brings us, Jeff, to the next puzzle.
Another puzzle? Already?
All right, so puzzle number 6. We have a Blazor application.
Yes.
And we have a headerClass library.
Yep.
So in the index Razor, we're defining this puzzle library 6 grid, which is here in grid. We're specifying the items property and a headerClass property, GridHeader.
It's a very simple HTML table, and we've seen these types of tables and components built before. We've got an empty template that'll be output if we don't have any items, but we're gonna do something similar to the old grid view, where we're gonna inspect that collection of items, build out columns appropriately, and iterate and show that collection of data based on the item type that was submitted. It's a pretty simple table that just shows a collection here, and I put together a collection of some of our favorite podcasts to demonstrate this grid working.
Yeah, I saw them right there. Very good. And the grid uses this GridHeader component.
Yep.
And tell me about that.
So the header is, well, it's going to wrap a T head, a table head element around some sort of header row component. I wasn't quite sure how we wanted to format it, so I hand off that to a header row component that'll receive the collection of columns for the header. And I want inside that header row, I feel like I should have a CSS class that you can specify here. So I put a parameter on this CSS class property, and I set the attribute, the class attribute, on the TR there. So when we run it now, it doesn't format this because I don't have a way to pass through that CSS class all the way down into the header row.
I see. And so what you'd have to do is figure out the way to do that the most efficient way possible. I can think of a few inefficient ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, right, it's a plain table here, but I've already got a nice class specified that'll flip that header so that it's a background color blue with some white text. And I want to just write a couple lines of code inside my header row and inside my grid to allow this to flow through appropriately into that header row.
So there it is right there. You've added GridHeader to app CSS. And now you want to specify that name, that class name, as a parameter from index to GridHeader all the way to header row.
Yeah, so if we take a look at the index Razor, you'll see I've already specified the header class that I want to pass through. So how do I make that appear as the class on my header row component?
Right.
Without doing this whisper down the lane thing.
Right. Okay, well, this is this kind of a meaty puzzle, Jeff.
A little bit.
I'm really excited about this one.
So take a look, friends. If you know the code that we need to write in order to enable this feature, send us an email. That's
right. Don't put it out on social media.
No social media.
I think you should know that drill by now, but instead send an email to blazorpuzzle@appvnext.com. What happened to my elbow? Anyway, blazorpuzzle@appvnext.com, and we will choose one correct answer from all the correct answers that we get. And the winner we will announce next week. The winner will get one of these coveted BlazorPuzzle mugs and a t-shirt, compliments of DevExpress. And that's it, man.
All right, here we go.
Go get them. We'll see you next time.
Take care, friends.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazortrain.com and the .NETshow.com for more great content.